We just lost the ball again with 8 seconds left. Okay. We're just stopping this because there's
Yeah.
absolutely no way. You guys are gonna have to carry this
And
episode.
on that note,
Done with. No, I could never give them up. I could
yeah.
never. I'll just lay this off to the side. I was ready to wave it, and
Is that to catch the tears?
yeah, it's
Mop up the
full of
tears.
them. Over the years, this thing,
Terrible handkerchief.
yeah. We had for a period of time we had Cordell Stewart's jersey as our foot mat inside the house.
That's funny.
It got used a lot. Okay, let's
Yeah.
get started. Thanks a lot, Steelers. It's
It
just
is what it
it's going to
is.
be tied, but it's going to end in a tie probably. But okay, all right, here we go. I'll just go ahead and start. Ready?
Yep.
Ready?
All right. Welcome everyone back to another episode of Muggle with a Mic. Today's episode is going to feature all things gaming, specifically retro gaming. And Phil is with me. Hey, Phil.
Hello. Hi.
Hey. And who's our very special guest, Phil?
Our very special guest is Tyler.
Tyler from the YouTube channel Generation Gap Gaming. Hey, Tyler.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, anytime. Thanks for having me.
We're excited. Now, I prefaced this episode before we started recording. I'm not much of a gamer. I like games, but I suck at them. So you guys are really good. I know Phil's really good. Tyler, are you mostly retro gaming knowledge?
Oh yeah. I mean, I know a few of, I would say as modern as my gaming goes is probably early to mid 2000s. Kind of about the time I really had to dive into college and stuff. I kind of lost track. There's a few here and there that I know about, but yeah, retro gaming is definitely more my jam there.
Phil, do you enjoy retro more than modern gaming?
when gaming started, but I don't know. Like retro gaming's hard. It is. It's like I look back. I play games that I played when I was a kid, and it's just like, man, how did I beat this? How did I play this? Because I mean, it is a lot more difficult. But I enjoy both. I enjoy modern and retro gaming and um, all levels. So
Are you cheaters? Are you the type to look into cheats and
mm,
But today, yeah, I would say that I'll hit Google pretty quick if I'm having trouble with
yeah,
something.
you know what's funny? Back in the day before the internets, um, when you had the original, well, not original, but you had the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Mhm.
Um, you would, if you got stuck on a game, they'd have a hotline to call, and it
Mhm.
cost so much a minute, and they would help you out, if you need to solve a puzzle or something like that.
Mhm.
So they also had Nintendo Power, which you could get that, and they'd usually
Mhm.
feature a game and have a couple levels in it. But like, yeah, they'd have game guides back in the day, and you go buy that. But now everything's just like look it up on the internet.
Did you ever call the hotline
Oh yeah,
back then?
yeah, I
See,
did.
I didn't. Like my parents never said not to call, but I was always, for whatever reason, I was always terrified of like a 900 number,
Yeah.
or if like fees could apply. Am I seriously, like, you make it makes it sound like my parents like were like terrible and would like beat me every day or something like
Yeah.
that. But I have the nicest parents, and they never ever gave me trouble about anything like that. But I was always scared of this, like, oh, I couldn't possibly call this number. You know what I mean? It never crossed my mind to call that number. And anybody that I know now that called it, I mean, it would have been magical to actually talk to somebody
Oh.
professionally at Nintendo and they walked me through something.
Well, and they'd want to like really just kind of give you hints, but it's like I'm paying for this.
Mhm.
Tell me the thing. Tell me how to do it.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, I I'd call occasionally when I get stuck. So, but
Well, I maybe we can take this time to show off our mugs. You want to do that?
Sure.
Okay, we all chose we Phil did this on the last episode, so I thought we are muggle with a mic. If you shorten that, that's a mug. So we all chose a mug to show off for this episode. So Phil, you want to show yours?
sure, I have. Oh, I don't know. Can you see it? It's a Wind Waker. Legend of
Nice.
Zelda Wind Waker. It's a wraparound. And I just actually finished my coffee, but it
You said,
has yeah, it has on the
Oh,
inside. It has
oh, cool.
like a wraparound mural on the inside as well.
Yeah, the interior, that's pretty cool.
our
When
podcast listeners are going to love that.
I love the Wind Waker. It takes me back to college, man. It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
it is.
How about you,
Yep.
Tyler? What's your mug look like?
My mug is a Disney Cruise Line mug, and it's actually shaped and slanted in the shape of if you've seen the funnels on the cruise ships, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it's like. It makes me think of whenever they blow they always do the foghorns. It sounds like the Disney tunes when you go on the ship.
Yeah.
So I'll be like,
Nice.
yeah. So
I
that's
thought you
what it
were going to
makes me
say
think.
that it's like the Dukes of Hazard when they blow it.
Yeah, no, but yeah. So yeah, it's a nice little Disney Cruise Line mug. Makes me
Nice.
want to get back on the boat.
I thought you were just holding it crooked.
No, it's literally slanted. Like,
That's
yeah,
neat.
that's flat.
Very cool. Well, I don't mean to overshadow yours, but mine wins. Like you don't have a choice.
Yeah, coming out hot.
Mine wins.
Oh, well, there you go.
I'll admit it does win. That's awesome.
Whether you
That's
like it or
pretty awesome.
not.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's it. That's a good one.
I
Yeah, I
got
can't
some
really compete with that.
Nope, you can't. Whether it is the best one or not, it is. The end.
Actually, I still have Raiders of the Lost Ark. I
Now
still have
that's
it in the
good.
box. Yeah, and then I have
That's
ET.
awesome.
I have ET as well. So
I do too. Yeah.
um,
I mean, ET gets a lot of flack, and
yeah,
it's better than what people let on. It's
yeah.
not that bad of a game, I don't think, anyway.
But
What did they think was so bad about it?
well, it's widely known as the worst video game ever made. I mean,
Yeah, you can watch it. There's a documentary called E.T. Atari Game Over. It's the one that and it proved to be true, right, Phil?
yeah,
That
the
like
landfill. Yeah,
landfill out in the desert, all like they had overproduced so many because they thought it was going to be this big hit of the holiday season the year that game was released. And like what it was the game was so hastily made,
yeah.
and the parents bought it for kids for Christmas, and it was so terrible unless you really dove into the manual and understood how the game was to be played. And like the parents would take it back to Sears and all these other places, and like they lost so much money on it. And the ones that they had left over, they literally put it in a landfill out in the desert. And that was part of the documentary, was finding that stash out in the desert, and they found it.
Yeah, because that was like an urban legend for a long time. It was myth
Mhm.
that there was this landfill full of ET cartridges. They go in the middle of the night and dump them, and by golly, it was true. I think, or
Oh,
they
really?
did when it first came out. But I have the stand up
Mhm.
one. But
Yeah.
it does have the controller,
Oh yeah.
the original. Yeah. So
The yoke.
yeah, the yoke. Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's good stuff. Katie's like, what
Yeah.
are these two old fogies
No,
talking
Yeah.
about?
but I enjoy listening to it, even though I have no clue what it means. I understood what stand up and sit down cockpit meant.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I didn't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
You remember the afterburner cockpit cabinet, Phil?
Yes.
Where you'd
Yep.
get in there, like, do you remember that one, Katie? It was like afterburner. It was like this Navy fighter pilot game, and you could sit down in the cockpit, and it had like the joystick there, and like if you would go up or down, the whole cabinet would move up and
Yep.
down. It was awesome.
Oh, that's neat. That'd be like an amusement ride.
I mean, for the late 80s, I mean, that was it's pretty awesome. You'd have to stand in line a while to get that one.
They know what their fans want when they do stuff like that. Even back in the 80s, that probably blew people's minds.
Yep.
I also really liked Dig Dug. That was
Yeah.
always a favorite. And
Dig Dug?
Dig Dug.
You never heard of Dig Dug?
I told you.
Oh,
Hey, watch it. I might snap.
Yeah.
yeah, I always enjoyed Dig Dug and Spy Hunter.
Yeah, that game is good. That game's
Yeah.
difficult, but it's
It
fun.
is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get into Mortal Kombat talk.
Yes.
Mortal Kombat.
I know. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
I'll on the podcast episode on Spotify and everything. I'll put the Mortal Kombat theme music in there.
Oh yeah.
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 But I'm gonna put this up on YouTube just raw, and they're not gonna get it. So go listen to the podcast
Yeah.
episode. All right, I'll do a little synopsis, and then we'll get into the talk. Mortal Kombat, it came out this year, but there's also an original 95 version that we'll talk a little bit about as well and compare the two. It was rated R. Duh. It ran about an hour and 50 minutes. The synopsis for it is MMA fighter Cole Young seeks out Earth's greatest champions in order to stand against the enemies of Outworld in a high-stakes battle for the universe.
But did they really?
Yeah, they did really.
Did they really?
The ending was kind of like.
You would think that a movie called Mortal Kombat, they'd actually have Mortal Kombat.
They had just,
no tournament.
Let's start fighting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they didn't really have the tournament, so.
They had a dirt ring. That didn't fit the bill for you.
Did you watch? I mean, you've watched it now, right?
Yeah, I watched 95.
Okay.
I watched it before I watched this new one.
Oh, okay. I thought you still hadn't seen it.
No. I've seen it now.
Okay.
But I wanted to get a feel for the characters and try to remember if I'd forgotten anything. So I watched 95, and I basically cringed the whole time. And then Tyler doesn't agree. Hey, would you like my towel to cry?
Yeah. Gasp. Just gasp.
But no,
I think they should have Mortal Kombat with these two movies. These two movies should fight each other.
Yeah.
Well, who do you think would win? Because
95.
I would really.
95. They don't need that computer graphic stuff to make everything better.
Now, I will say, like, they do have. I mean, it kind of had better special effects in the new movie. But if you could like merge the two, the story was way superior in the 95. I mean, it actually made sense. You had the whole tournament, the background.
Mm-hmm.
So if they kind of merged the two, I think you'd have the ultimate movie. Honestly.
I mean, what made the 95 movie to me, and it may just be the fact that I liked it back then that I don't give it as much crap now, but I still think that Goro animatronic was very impressive. And like you can go on YouTube now and they kind of have like a behind the scenes of like them operating Goro and how complex the mechanics is of like what all went into him and all the articulations he had and everything. It's pretty impressive, the camera trickery and cuts they would make to make him look real and all the motions that he could do. I mean, I thought Goro was pretty good. I mean, obviously he looked really good now with the computer generated, but for him to be an actual physical prop was pretty awesome, I thought.
Yeah.
Well, and that goes back to like a Monster Squad. You know, it may look terrible, but back then it was amazing what they were able to do.